Hey everybody, welcome back to Review the Nerds. I'm Vincent.
And I'm Mike, and today we are reviewing Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Yes, we are back in the Harry Potter universe with the kind of prequel, kind of not prequel. Prequel in the sense that it happens before the Harry Potter adventures. Not a prequel in the sense that it really nothing to do with any of the characters from the original movie/books. Yet. So this is about Newt Scamander, who wrote the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which was part of Harry's curriculum while he was at Hogwarts. I mean, he's a wizard who loves magical animals. He loves them more than he loves people. He has a whole suitcase full of them. This tells the adventure of when he went to America to further his research and to return some animals back to their habitats, but he gets caught in the American wizarding community's politics and accidentally gets in trouble with their law, meets some friends, makes some enemies. We're back. It's Harry Potter time.
I really enjoyed the movie overall. It met my expectations and I was satisfied. Fantastic Beasts is once again directed by David Yates, who was the director of the last few Harry Potter movies. I wasn't sure what to expect or how it would feel stepping away from some of the key ingredients of the franchise. Like, there's no Hogwarts or School for Wizardry. This focuses on a cast of adults rather than children. It's taken out of the UK and into the US, and it's set in the past. So I'd say that initially it took me a little bit of time to really get into it. Like, I think it opens a little bit weak. We are shot through a montage of moving newspaper clippings that are shoveling exposition a little too quickly for me. It was kind of disorientating, and I didn't know what the hell was happening. Like,
Newsflash! Newsflash! Newsflash!
But then, we move on to introducing our new characters and story. The movie opens really small and simple, and I think that's for the best. It slowly charmed its way into engaging me with its great cast of fun characters, and by capturing a sense of magic that you feel when you're a kid. It may not be Harry Potter, but it finds its way into establishing itself as its own thing, set within the same universe. So, the movie starts off with meeting our main character, Newt, who's played by Eddie Redmayne. Great actor. Academy Award winner. But he's stepping off the boat into the New York City harbor with his magical briefcase, and taking us into this new world with him. Who's this, you know, kind of introvert, kind of like crocodile hunter for the magical universe.
Matcha zoologist.
I believe some people made parallels to Doctor Who just because he has this magical briefcase that's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Plus, the actor Eddie Redmayne himself said he'd be interested in playing Doctor Who, but...
That'd be awesome.
But, yeah, he was a little bit more reserved than I expected, I guess.
Yeah, the character's very reserved because he's trying to portray this awkwardness because he's more at home around these magical animals than he is around people. So he's not as interactive and social as he can be. And he's too reserved, a little too reserved. We're both agreed on this? He's a little reserved?
I think the trailer made it look like he was going to be a little more animated than he really is. Honestly, the character that I was most engaged with, we can both agree on this, is the No-Maj character, played by Dan Fogler, Jacob.
Yeah, No-Maj being what they call muggles in America. Yeah. Dan Fogler, he's our introductory character. He's a character that we as the audience can relate with the most because he's not a magic user. He's like us. So we're kind of, you know, having the experience vicariously through him. And yeah, he was really great in it. He's probably my favorite character in the movie. I just loved his like wonderment he's having about things, you know, his confusion, his relationship he builds with Newt. Yeah, I really enjoyed the character. I thought the actor did a great job.
He's kind of like the Dr. Watson to Newt's Sherlock Holmes, his sidekick. And I thought he did a really great job. It was kind of cool to have a No-Maj character so prominent in the world and everything. He gets put in this helmet and like...
old leather like football helmet, and he's got like this... like these leather pads, like football...
He just looks absolutely ridiculous in this thing, and they're trying to catch like this rhino-looking creature.
It's like mega rhino. We're calling it, I can't remember what's really called, but we're calling it a mega rhino.
And it wants to make sweet love to him.
It does. It does. It wants to show him how they do it in the wild.
Yeah, that part's really funny. He's really the one that engaged me the most, I would say. And that's nothing against Eddie Redmayne's performance. I thought he did the very best with what they gave him.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that he was so colorful and fun.
Yeah. And in a universe that is colorful and fun, you know. Oh no, the movie gave us a character we really love. Oh no, like
yeah, that's a great thing. I mean, it's just that I guess I really expected Newt to be the one to really carry everything. I didn't expect this No-Maj to come out of nowhere and steal the show.
Yeah.
So that it just caught me off guard. It's not like it's really a bad thing.
I mean, we got a few other characters. Catherine Waterston, she played Tina. She plays an American wizard who was an oar at one point, a magic cop basically, but she's now she actually got demoted or something, so part of her story arc is trying to reprove herself, at the same time trying to keep Eddie Redmayne's character under wraps, and like trying to control him, so that's where a lot of her drama comes from, just trying to, she doesn't necessarily want to arrest him, but she kind of does at the same time, a little conflict there with her.
They try to, out of nowhere at the end of the movie, set up that they were falling in love throughout the movie, and I don't think they put enough in there to make that believable for me.
Yeah, I can totally believe a friendship because of the adventure they went through, the drama, the scary parts of the movie. I can totally believe a friendship. Romance, I really didn't see that. Yeah, until right there at the end of like,
yeah, and she's like,
oh, there's a spark here,
and she's like sobbing and crying, like this emotional, moment, and like she's madly in love with him, and I never got that.
Yeah,
I mean, the most intimate moments that he shared with anybody in the movie was actually with the Nomad, and it was with Jacob. I felt that their bond was more of a romance than it was with her.
It was a bromance.
A bromance, yes. Which is interesting because her sister is in this movie. The character has a sister played by Alison Sudol called Queenie, and she has the ability to read the minds of others. And her relationship that she has with Jacob, to me, is much more believable, even though it has less screen time. It has less screen time, but it makes more sense that they have romance.
Oh yeah, no, it's much more believable. Just because through their facial expressions, just the way they look at each other, in the few words, like the details are in the way they express themselves, the way they act, and they smile, or just like kind of look at each other. That was understandable. That once again, it doesn't hurt the movie. It's just more of a confusing part of the movie at the end. Like, oh, maybe you should have saved this romance thing for the next movie. You're making 4 more of them.
And, you gotta give part of the cast for some of these great Fantastic Beasts that they presented to us.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the little guy, the little, platypus thing that kept stealing everything.
Yeah, and it absorbed, like, jewelry and metals and shiny things into its body. Like, it has, like, some kind of, like a little kangaroo pouch or something that you can't see under its fur. It's got, like, some kind of bigger on the inside organ to store all this crap, it's like, so really, I wasn't expecting, like, okay, I friends of, oh, okay, he likes to collect shiny things.
No, he's just a kleptomaniac.
Yeah. I'm so cute, you don't mind that I'm stealing.
Oh, he was adorable, too. He was adorable, man.
I want one. I keep him locked up, but I want one.
I think the CGI in this movie was pretty good. I think there's 1 or 2 moments where the CGI looked a little animated. Like there is like the snake creatures, like the way they're interacting, like winding around their arms and stuff. There's something about that looked off a little bit to me.
Well, that's when you have it. I mean, with that much interaction with an actual physical, being, when you got the CG going, there's always that little thing off. It could be the lighting, the way it is. It could be like maybe the clothing on the arm isn't moving as it is. Something would be swirling up. These little things that your brain picks up on that you may not realize at the time.
I'm a bit of a history buff, so I really like the recreations of New York City during the 1920s. It was the middle years in between World War I and the Great Depression. During the Prohibition era, in America, there's a lot more segregation and prejudice against no-mages with wizards, and there's a lot more fear of being discovered by no-mages.
Yeah, because like when they're in the Harry Potter movies in England, Hermione is a witch. Her parents are muggles, but they are aware that Hermione's a witch. They're allowed to go to like Diagon Alley and meet people. In America, no way. It doesn't matter if you're a magic user and your parents aren't. Your parents could not know about this stuff. That's what they seems to be in America during this time period, that they're very strict about it.
Yeah, and not to get too political, but a lot of people have fears right now about certain types of segregation. So, I mean, I don't know if this movie was intentionally commenting on that or if it was a coincidence, but it felt kind of relevant.
J.K. was writing this up. It's like, the Americans will love this.
Basically, the part of the conflict that comes out in this movie is that some of the wizards are tired of hiding. Like, some of them are getting very frustrated with it, and they're trying to exploit a character played by Ezra Miller called Credence, who's going to be the Flash, by the way, Ezra Miller. I honestly didn't know he was in this movie, actually.
Yeah, I feel like I knew, but I feel like I didn't know. Like, I feel like I probably looked at the cast list at one point and was like, oh, Ezra Miller's in this. But he's like not really in any of the trailers, or if he is, he's in it so briefly I didn't notice him.
Yeah, but basically, he is somehow seen through a vision, I guess, to have a connection to this Obscurus that basically, I guess, is projected from wizards that are forced to repress their magical abilities, I guess. Yeah. It's like this personification of frustration, I guess, that comes out of them from repression.
Yeah.
This thing has been coming out and destroying parts of New York City, And he is seen to have a connection to what they believe is a child.
Any magical being that has an Obscurus, most of them have never lived past 10, or if they did, it was very brief. Like, something about reading, getting around age 10, maybe it has something to do with puberty, where it starts to become too powerful and it just kills whoever it's attached to.
Another character that is in this movie that we've reserved to the end here, because there's a spoiler connected to him, is Colin Farrell as Percival Graves.
Yeah.
He's a high-ranking
member of the magical community in America, politically speaking.
Yeah, he's kind of involved. It kind of looks like he's involved with Homeland Security, sort of.
Yeah, like he's the head of like their CIA or something like that, like military police. I don't know. He basically he's the guy that gets stuff done. Like there's because that's how they make it look like. There's the president of the magical community in America, which is a woman, all right, being progressive in America back in the 30s and like it. And then there's Colin Farrell, and he basically just seems to be like right under her in terms of the hierarchy, it appears. Well, that's the way it kind of looks like it.
Appears that way.
Yeah.
But he initially appears to me to be almost an ally, but then very quickly you see that he's trying to, for whatever reason, set Eddie Redmayne's escaped creatures up to be like a smokescreen.
Yeah, a scapegoat of some kind.
Yeah, for this Obscurus thing that's causing havoc. And you see he's having secret meetings with Ezra Miller's character, Credence, and he's trying to find this child, so you know he's up to no good at a certain point.
Yeah, he starts out like, okay, he's one of the good guys, and then he gets grayer and dark gray, and you're like, how, is he bad? Wait, hold on, he's looking like a bad guy, he's at least a jerk. Definitely a jerk at this point. You know?
Now we're going to get into some spoiler territory.
Yeah, spoiler, if you don't want to hear these spoilers, skip ahead a couple minutes. We'll still give our final thoughts at the end.
So it turns out that the child that he has been looking for is actually Ezra Miller, which you probably could have seen coming 1,000 miles away because...
I did, honestly, I did. I was like, okay, stop trying to make me think it's this little girl. It's Ezra Miller. You're not going to fucking hire Ezra Miller just like, okay, Ezra Miller, step aside. There's a little girl. You know? Yeah,
and then in the very, very end, it is revealed, kind of similar to Mad-Eye Mooney's reveal in The Goblet of Fire. We find out that actually Percival Graves is not who you think he is, and he's actually Grindelwald, who is played by Johnny Depp.
Yeah. I heard that Johnny Depp was going to be in this movie, that the rumor was he was going to play an important character. His reveal at the end didn't make me go, I mean, I was kind of like, oh, but I should have been like, damn, but I wasn't. I didn't get my damn moment. Well, I didn't get that.
For me, I was just kind of like, why? Honestly, I was more engaged and interested in Colin Farrell's character. He seemed more like a real, identifiable person to me. As soon as Johnny Depp came on screen, I was like, okay, we're going into Tim Burton cartoon territory. Yeah. I'm kind of getting a little fatigued with Johnny Depp. He every time he's on screen, he's just doing Tim Burton to me.
Yeah, here's the thing about Johnny Depp. There's no denying Johnny Depp is a very talented actor, very talented. The guy, he's got the skill, but I think it's just because he's become so known for being a character actor, and he's played these like wily, fantastical characters so many times now in the past 10 years, that it's just like, is there any real, like, I feel like we've kind of seen it before. Like, I'm hoping that's not how this character is going to be in the other films, because of course he's bringing them back. He's basically the Voldemort of this series, or making him out to be, which is also kind of a letdown. I have no indication to feel more threatened by, as threatened, or even a little bit threatened like I would Voldemort.
And this also raises more questions than it answers, because now I'm wondering, okay, was there a real Percival Graves that Grindelwald killed and replaced, or was he actually secretly this guy all along? And I don't know, why couldn't Colin Farrell just be a second in command to Grindelwald? Like, why couldn't Grindelwald be saved for his sequel? Yeah. You know, why do you have to be revealed as, you know, being in disguise in this whole time?
Yeah, that's the thing about this movie that I did have an issue with. The threat of Grindelwald and his cult or group of wizards that want to,
expose the magic
community. Their threat is always in the background of the film. It's just in the background, so we don't get to know a lot about them except for what they're trying to do. We don't know their motivations, how many numbers there are. I mean, is it really this big of a threat? I feel like we don't get a little more information would have been helpful.
Yeah, I mean, I got the general gist of what they were trying to do. I mean, they were tired of hiding in the shadows. They were tired of being afraid of the No-Magus figuring out their world and everything. And he was basically arguing the same thing Magneto did, which is basically like we shouldn't be living cowering in fear of humans. We should be rolling them. Yeah. So I get it's basically like a Magneto to this universe. And the other thing that we have to think about with this series is that they're making 4 sequels.
Yeah.
The way that it resolves, they kind of resolve everything. Like, all the character arcs' journeys are complete. The books kind of close. It feels like if they made a sequel, it would be an afterthought. Like, it doesn't seem like they really mapped out and structured a universe of movies. To me, what it feels like is that they made this movie, and then somewhere through post-production, they're like, you know what? Let's make 4 more.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously the next movie is going to be about Grindelwald breaking out of prison or whatever, and then how they're going to get Eddie Redmayne's character involved again. I mean, he's a magic zoologist, so unless they have an animal, unless there's some kind of magical beast connected to the Grindelwald's group, what reason would Eddie Redmayne have to get involved again? Unless Tina asks him for help because she's a magic cop, so she wants her friend to back her up. Maybe? I don't know. It's going to be a couple years till we see it.
I mean, I know J.K. Rowling is writing these movies, and that's great. It's great they have her as a writer.
Oh, yeah, no, you want her to do this.
And honestly, she's probably going to be able to pull it off because she's a great writer.
Overall, yeah, like Mike said at the beginning, it's a good movie. I'm glad I saw it. I just, the issues with the film just caused questions and a little bit of confusion. I think that's where there's a little confusing point.
And most of it's in the end.
Most of it's in the end. It's got my approval. Go check it out. Not the best movie I've seen this year, but still very good.
It does do something that not a lot of movies have really done this year for me, and that's like bring out this kind of inner child nostalgia feeling. So I did appreciate that. I mean, it was kind of throwback in terms of the way that it was structured for me. Like, it had a very classic feel. It just starts with a simple story and then it builds to something bigger. It's really fun. I mean, the magic is there. I think it's a worthy successor or precursor, however you want to think of it, to the series. I'm curious where they're going to go in the future, how much connections they're going to make to the movies, if there's going to be some more prequel elements, are we going to get more characters? I've heard rumors about Dumbledore playing a bigger part in the sequels.
Yeah, maybe Newt will, go to Hogwarts at some point to visit Dumbledore. Maybe we'll get to see a kid Voldemort. Who knows? Maybe one of the later films.
I wouldn't try too hard to make too many prequel elements. I do want the series to exist on its own.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying if they do very brief cameos, that's all I'm saying. Maybe Voldemort's leaving class. It's I'll see you later, Tom. Bye bye.
Now I can totally see Dumbledore having a key part in it. Sure, why not? I mean, we know he's lived a long life with lots of adventures. Why not have Dumbledore be involved? Yeah. I'd be cool with that. I recommend the movie. I'd say that it's definitely giving a run for the money for any other holiday movies coming out. Of course, Star Wars is coming, so that's going to be its big competition. But this is definitely the movie to see right now.
Well, everybody, hope you like this video. Tell us what you're thinking down in the comments. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Either way, we'd like to hear from you. And of course, please subscribe to our channel here. But until next time, I'm Vincent.
And I'm Mike.
And this has been
Review of the Nerds.
Catch you next time.
Everte Statum!